Do you think Peter Obi of today is not the Peter Obi of last year? Do you think Peter Obi has lost his personality? Do you think the Peter Obi we have now is not the Peter Obi that so many people came out en masse to vote for in the last presidential election? I would like you to drop your comment or opinion, or answer to these questions on the comment section. However, I would like to welcome you to this channel, Afro Celeb TV, your home for educative and entertaining contents. So please, if you have not subscribed, do well to help us grow this channel by subscribing to this channel and turning on the notification bell icon so that whenever I drop a video on this channel, you will be the first to receive it. Okay, so many things have been said about Peter Obi. Just recently, there was an interview on Arise TV, where a woman said so many negative things about Peter Obi. One of the things she said was that Peter Obi is now suffering from depression following the crisis, in the Labour Party. Do you agree with her? Please drop your comment on the comment section. But I have not come here to just be asking you questions, because I'm going to play a video for you. In this video, you are going to hear what a Northerner say, his own opinion about Peter Obi. At the end of the video, you'll be able to answer some of these questions I have raised at the beginning of the video. Does Peter Obi still have what it takes to contest the next presidential election that is coming? Do you think he'll be able to command the followership he commanded at the last general election, especially the followership of the youths? So many things have been said about this man, Peter Obi. But we are going to hear what this Northerner, a core Northerner, I don't want to mention the name, okay? So I want you to just watch this video and see for yourself who this core Northerner is and what he said about Peter Obi. Once again, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please help us grow this channel by subscribing and turning on the notification bell icon so that whenever I would drop a video here, you'll be the first to get it. Okay, so let's dive into the video. Please just watch, and thank you so much for tuning in today.
Recently, you might have heard a lot of criticism leveled against the 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate, Peter Obi. In fact, on this program, just a couple of days ago, one of our guests suggested that she had become depressed by the crisis in the Labour Party. But more so, she said, profoundly more so by Peter Obi himself, someone she described as a once sparkling, inspirational figure who created a movement almost overnight, galvanizing the youth, the intellectuals, and other principled people, but who had now turned from a firework into what she called a damp squib. To her, he had become, in her words, rather pedestrian, making what she called anodyne public statements and periodically donating boreholes in remote parts of the country. Well, expectedly, there have been lots of reactions from many of Mr. Obi's supporters whose passion and zeal for him appear to be undiminished. One of them is Ibrahim Abdul Karim. He's from the northwest state of SOKOTO and is the Director General of the Big Tent, a coalition uniting political parties, social movements, civil society organizations, and candidate support groups, the so-called Third Force. Mr. Abdul Karim believes that Mr. Obi has become the ideological symbol of the fight for equity and justice in Nigeria, a fight by millions of ordinary people who, he says, want to see a new generation of honest, committed leaders. And Ibrahim Abdul Karim, Director General of the Big Tent, joins me now in the studio. Good to see you again.
Good to see you, Mr. Charles.
And metaphorically speaking, or perhaps physically speaking, you would need a big tent, wouldn't you? Because you're quite a tall bloke.
Of course.
So you're not going to need a small tent. It's got to be a big tent.
Something that will carry the whole country.
Well, certainly something that will carry you. It's going to be a tall tent. Well, good to see you again.
Thank you very much.
Now, it doesn't look good, does it, when an independent, nationally and internationally respected journalist such as Donu Kabara, worked for the BBC, worked for a variety of organizations, speaking completely unbidden, and who used to be someone who felt that this country needed the kind of dramatic change that Peter Obi could bring, suggesting now that Mr. Obi has gone from being an inspirational firework to a damp squib. I mean, what's your reaction to that?
Maybe some people just rely on what they see. As we said, he's an international media person.
Yeah, but she's been in Nigeria.
She's been in Nigeria, but that's what she wants to see. But she has her own. I'm okay with what she has said. But the truth of the matter is that us, we followed him. The obedient movement is not something that just is created just out of the blue. Young Nigerians wants to see a better and new Nigeria, and they are looking who is best within that space of time of 2020. And they have found out that among all the politicians, none of them said that he sent away somebody that is, but he's better than all the people who have seen during the contest of 2023 election. And the young Nigerians say, okay, let's mobilize ourselves to so person so that we can actualize our own dream. It's a dream of young Nigerians. It's not a dream of only Mr. Peter Obi. So the opposition after is not about him. It's about continue with the young people that already put their hopes on him to continue what they are doing. So she's seeing it from a different angle, while young Nigerians are seeing it from different angle. And also, Peter Obi brought a very new politics in Nigeria. Before, after election, we see politicians, they walk away. Everybody walk away. And then they reorganize themselves and come back just some few months election, not giving us chance to know them, not giving us a time to have a conversation with them. But here's a person now, Mr. Peter Obi. He's always on space with us. We have a conversation with him. I followed him. We went from state to state. Because what we understand after the election, that it's not everybody in the north, for example. I'm from SOKOTO, I stay in the northwest. So it's not everybody that knows about him, how he governed in Anambra. And there's a lot of lies during the election, telling us mostly such things that we don't know about him, that talking about he gave an ID card to Muslims in Anambra, he demolished a mosque in Anambra, and things like that. So we thought that, okay, the election is over. The verdict has been given, but don't go back, don't relax. And he came with this idea, and we bring the idea and say, okay, let's move around and start to talk. And what Mrs. Dunn was maybe trying to see is that a presidential candidate in 2026, maybe in June 2026. But here we are in 2024. There is a government that is in place, and there is somebody that's supposed to give the opposition. And the young people are organizing themselves. We need 2025, a whole of 2025, to re-engineer and reorganize ourselves. What we are picking is that he needs to go and see with his eyes what is happening. For example, the issue of the Almajiri, we know how it stopped during the Jonathan time. We know in the north, for example, we don't feel comfortable seeing those young people on the street. And then we now talked to him and said, go and see how this Almajiri system works. And he followed us. We went to Almajiri school. He found that one of the schools in Kaduna, they don't even have a toilet. They don't have decent water to take. And also they have to crawl out to go and look for food for them. And what amazed him is that they read and they write in Arabic. And he was suggesting, if we can take these young people that we call out of school, why not bring school to them? And he pledged and he donated money. And we went back again for him to supervise the money that he have sent. That's the leadership we're talking about. Not just somebody that will sit in the villa or sit in the government house and keep on watching. And most of these works that we have done, for example, we went to Kebbi with him. We went to commission a borehole. I think we take almost more than 15 kilometers into the bush. And we met the Fulani. The same Fulani that people are now talking about, and she was saying that you see them, the Fulani, full Fulani village, and we took him there. And he interacted with them. He commissioned a borehole with them, and their leaders was there. They saw him. This is an Igbo man from the southeast that wants to be president. So what we've been doing in 2004 to 2024 is right to pick him and go to those people that need to see him. And we went to Emirates, going to Emirates, and we went to other Emirate councils. Why are we doing that? And then apart from that, we're doing third-party engagement, and we're taking him to some politicians that we know, irrespective of their parties, to sit down and talk to him. He's from commerce, he's from the bank, he's from the commerce sector. He's somebody that knows value. Every day we are talking with him, he look at the size, he give comparison with agriculture, how he will build the northern block for us to get what we are getting. If it's Peter Obi as a president today, we will not be arguing about this tax bill. Because the North is going to be producing all what it will be producing, and things are going to be captured. And it's a person, because he has the knowledge of coming from back, he is very good in talking numbers. So he liked to see things, not just somebody just flying numbers, but he liked to call numbers as accurate. So that's why he's moving around. He's been in Kogi, and he traveled by the road. As you can see the incident, it was on the internet when he saw a truck drivers block road. But he just came down and talked to them. They opened the gate and people moved. We went from Kano to Jigawa with him some few days, a few months ago. And then when we are going on the road, we have seen the one lane of the road is being abandoned, the other one is being used, and then there is a lot of potholes and uncompleted part of it. And then we are now discussing, okay, instead of us to take away 16 trillion and build a new coastal road somewhere, while we have just Kano to Jigawa, which a lot of workers stay in Kano and work in Jigawa, that need that road to be flying around that road. So he's not just moving around as the way she uses the pedestrian. No, he is trying to take in the observation of what is happening. Let me give you an example. We had Buhari as a president. We're having Ahmed Bola Tinubu as president. And you can see the other contestants of have you, Mr. Charles, ever seen any one of them on a journey of 200 kilometers, like, for example, coming from Kaduna to Kano on the road? They are not. They are always on their private jet. That's why when they come, they don't have the first-hand information about what to do with the situation. But what he's doing to schools, school of nonsense, where we see him every week going, check his Twitter handle, every week he's going around, and he's now talking to Nigerians, looking at the education, because if you want to change the system, the education is the first thing you're supposed to look after, because those young almajiris that you see on the street, they are the ones that are going to be the vanguard of the politics. They'll call them NCSA in years to come. They are going to replace me on this seat. What type of young people are we going to create in the North, who are going to talk on the behalf of the North, who are going to be in the offices for a system to work? So, but he believes. Come on, one thing I really appreciate about him was that on our way going around all these things, we met some of our friends, and then we met some people that will come and greet him. They have a conversation, maybe in the aeroplane or in the car when we are doing. And once he now understands that young person has something on him, he can explain issues of electricity, issue of tariff, or anything, communication, and things like that. He always asks me, Brian, what's the name of that person? I will give him the name. We keep the name. We remember the name. So that when building governance is not easy. It has to come through a system. And he can't govern with the people that he governed Anambra State with them. He's going to govern with people. He needs ministers in all the 37 states, yes, including Abuja. Well, so he needs to use this 2024 right, and 2025 to do some legworks, as we said in politics. Because politics is something that can be. That's why, Charles, I used to get very worried when I hear people talking about who become vice president, who become president. This is not the time. The time now is for him to get people to know him, right, to get engaged.
I mean, her point is that this is the same guy, certainly from her perspective. Yes. And obviously, one of the points you're making is that it's important to go around canvassing with people, talking to people, and so on. And she is a person, yeah, and a significant person. And her point is that this is the same guy who galvanized so many people across different classes and ethnicities into action in a very short period of time. And now, according to her, he makes anodyne statements on social media, donates boreholes here and there. She probably didn't hear the story about the borehole and the journey,
helping people.
Yeah, that you were talking about. But what she thinks is that what people really want to see is a man who is an inspiring leader of the opposition, because that is needed so desperately at this point. People need something to sustain them, to inspire them. And she says he's, nowhere to be found. You use the term that she used, pedestrian, that he's not a shining star at the moment. He's not taking on the government. And that's part of what people want to see. People want to be, not everybody has the opportunity to travel with him like you have, but people want to be inspired.
People want to be inspired, but it's the only thing that we have today. If they're taking off, what she is saying, you look at the context of Nigeria, where you bring the time of apartheid, type of during the days of Mandela, people that are thrown into jail and that. But look at what we have today. People are seeing semblance of state capture. Then press, we just finished the interview now with somebody discussing about the issue of the press, and understand this is the person that is now uniting us from the south to the north, young people all over Nigeria and outside Nigeria, thinking about how we are going to wrestle and take over this country, because we know we've been late in 2003, but we are giving a more chance and more given time to do. If now, for example, something happened in 2023, so if something happened to him now, he is the leader, he is the one inspiring us and talking to us and telling us what to do. If we have a you know the kind of government that we have with the APC people and how they take politics and they do a die affair they want to do. And if he's been eliminated now because of maybe the confrontation that we wanted to do, or all of us have been thrown into jail and things like that, what will happen to us? Today you see him, he's in the court trying to what? To take care of Dele Farotimi. Tomorrow is going to be me. Next tomorrow is going to be another journalist. So
you're saying he needs to be free.
We need him.
Yeah.
What the mistake they will do, how they will do, not him creating the problem to himself. At least we are doing what we are doing. We are putting off our offices. We're conversing. Young people are talking. We're organizing. We can't come here because somebody wants to see us on the street fighting for us to now give out all our strategies.
Yes, I understand that. I have to move on because time is against us. I do recall, though, because you mentioned the APC there. I recall that in 2015, you were almost as passionate as you are now, a fervent supporter of Muhammadu Buhari and the APC. I mean, what happened to turn you away from them towards Peter Obi in preference?
In preference, because cost of government, because I just finished reading what's happened in Argentina. And then I have seen what a president can do if he wants to change the country. I have seen what happened in Indonesia and Malaysia. So the most important is the head. Everybody knows that with Peter Obi, even Deji was saying that at least he will vote for Peter Obi because he will not buy a new private jet. Everybody have seen him traveling from one place to another even in an economy. The reason is why everybody knows, us that we work with him, the people that goes close to him know that there is going to be a reduction in the cost of government. Not somebody that is going to buy a new jeep, not somebody that is going to pump money to build a new house for himself and new house for his own vice president. So that's the first thing that I have seen. Number two, he's trying to...
So fiscal prudence.
Yes, yeah. And also we are trying to actualize our own aspiration through him because we don't have his capacity. We can't be him. You understand? So, but we can be around him. The young people that are coming around him, what we are trying to do that we have not done in APC is that now we are going to set up system that will now checkmate us when we become, because once we promise people and we tell them what we are going to do, we are going to have a process that will make sure that at least those things have been, nobody will take him over and nobody catch him, because we want somebody that can move around. The first thing I love so much about Mr. Peter Obi is his movement. The way you see him maybe in a day in 3 or 4 different states. That's what the leadership is supposed to be. Because he's coming from commerce and he's coming from banking. That's the most interesting part of it. Because if I tell you, buy something for me, and you know that I will be in that market too, you'll be careful not to inflate that what I send you to buy. And you'll be very careful to bring what is authentic, because I'm going to see it. I'm not going to steal. This is the person that I know. Because of what he's saying he's going to do. Definitely he's not going to sit down in one place. He has never. If he sits in one place, he's going to fall sick, because that's the person I know.
Okay, well, you've made that point, and we're fast running out of time. We've got a couple of minutes left. Just tell us a bit about the organization, the Big Tent, which you are the Director General of. I mean, it likes to call itself the third force, doesn't it? I mean, is it really that? Is there such a thing in Nigerian politics?
Yeah, you see, the difference between us and what happened in 2015 is that in 2015, the APC put themselves together and go directly to take power. We've been sitting down trying to organize how we are going to see that power is not misused by anybody. That's the work of the Big Tent. And that's the kind of people that we assemble in the Big Tent, people from all walks of life. Our worry is not just putting Mr. Peter Obi in the saddle there.
But is that what the purpose of the Big Tent?
No, it's not.
Right.
It's not. It preceded Mr. Peter Obi. We were there before even Mr. Peter Obi. Do you know that Mr. Pat Otomi is the Labour Party candidate before?
Yeah, he was the Labour Party candidate.
He was before he stepped down for Mr. P. Otomi. And Pat Otomi is the chairman of the Big Tent. So you can understand. So even when we are talking about Mr. I just don't just pick Peter Obi. Somebody very prominent in Nigeria, I went to him, 3 of us, we asked him, with this number of people contesting for 2023 election, in APC they have almost getting to 20-something people, in PDP have almost 14 people at that time. And we asked him, who do you think among these people that can be a very good president for Nigeria? He said, I can't pick the 2 parties together, but I would pick one of each. He said, I think the APC, he mentioned the name of Fayemi because they work together. But when he comes to PDP, he said he prefer Mr. Peter Obi. That's the first day I picked the name. I know him, just born on other things, but that's when I picked the name or what, and I asked him why. He said I should go and do my research. And when I did my research, I found that, yes, there is a reason even why Atiku picked him in the first place to be his vice president in 2019.
Okay.
So that's how I said, this is a person that I have to study him to find out who he is. And I found that he is one of the most interesting person that you can take on as a politician in Nigeria today.
On that note, I want to thank you very much
Thank you
indeed.
very
Ibrahim Abdul Karim is the Director General of the Big Tent. Good to see you again.
Thank you, Mr. Charles.
And that's it for this edition of Arise Prime Time. Join us again tomorrow from me and the entire team here in Abuja. Bye-bye, and thank you for